how to scale your spend. The honest truth is 90% of the marketers that I talk to get this 100% wrong. They focus on ROAS. Oh, I made 3x ROAS. That means I can spend 3 times more. That's not true ever, because products cost money and you have operating costs for the business. Plus you have to pay the marketer. And unless the product is free and you have no overhead and the marketer's working for $0, a true 1x ROAS for your business is terrible. So here's what we're really getting into. If you can stabilize the LTV and reduce the CPA through consistent dynamic creative testing against broad, the most stable and projectable way to use Facebook properly to continue to establish a projectable, reliable, high confidence CPA and then cost average it down, ultimately what that means is the PSM continues to grow. And if that PSM continues to grow, then you know, hey, I've got more opportunity to afford a higher CPA. Now, we know ultimately how Facebook works is a simple algorithm. Your bid, what Facebook charges you for a conversion, ultimately comes down to a simple equation. It's budget, estimated action rate, and advertiser score. Now, you can improve the advertiser score by not investing nearly as much in bad ads, which is one reason we never do creative testing by ABO, where we spend the majority of our money on ads that are actually a liability for our business. You can improve advertiser score by reducing the load time on your web page, having a better customer experience after they get the product, improving your call center, really talking to your customers and running a better business. Great. Now we have a lower cost of acquisition, so our CPAs come down. Another way to reduce CPA is to improve our estimated action rate, which is ultimately what dynamic creative testing at Broad will let us do, is find ways of letting an ad reach other people that are more likely to respond to it positively in a more projectable fashion that we can then ultimately let the ads do the targeting, because that's also how Facebook works. Remember, if you're still using interest targeting or lookalikes or retargeting, you're 5 years behind. Broad targeting lets the ad's own lookalike audience, which, because remember, every ad makes its own lookalike audience, that to go unobstructed into the marketplace and find the users that are most likely to have the best estimated action rate on it. So you win higher quality, higher value impressions for lower cost at higher volume, and you get premium access to that inventory because Facebook wants to show your ad in front of somebody else's, because somebody else's ad is a worse experience for that end user, and that ultimately hurts Facebook's bottom line and how they run their business, which is attention for profit and maintaining people on the platform. It is retention of attention that they sell for profit. It's eyeballs for money. That's how Facebook works. If you're a liability to that, you are going to get priced out of the market. Now, if you improve both of those things, or either one of them, ultimately your CPA comes down. And if your CPA comes down and your CPA is below what you can afford to acquire a customer, well, we can afford a worse CPA. What's the number one way to most cost effectively make your CPA worse? Spend more money. Which means when you actually establish a healthy, profitable scaling margin, you can afford to spend more money. And that's really what we're talking about here. Scaling your business. Now, let's say you've raised your profitable scaling margin from a 1.2, which is ultimately what you need in business to break even. Let's say you've improved that profitable scaling margin to a 1.5. That means we could theoretically spend a little bit more. And let's say we raise it to a 2. Well, that means we can spend again a little bit more. And what we're really focusing in here is how do we establish a larger margin so that we can continue to increase our spend? Because as you increase spend, that budget goes up, your cost per acquisition goes up. That is why every time you increase the budget, your CPAs get worse, because Facebook already told you what that math looks like 10 years ago. Now, here's the real fun. If you can make the LTV bigger, you don't even need to worry about making better ads. You don't even need to worry about improving the quality of your business. You can also spend more money. The easiest way of making your LTV bigger is have a higher volume of customers that buy the same thing so that you can ultimately test what happens after the click. So if you find the best available product for you and the most desirable PSM for your business model, you now have 3 overall variables that you can basically just focus on. You can peg two of them as standard. I know it's going to basically do about this, and I can mess with the other one to make it better. Maybe you know the LTV and the COGs and you continue to reduce the CPA. Hey, my CPA went down by 20%. Great, let's spend 15% more and I'm still gonna be making more money. And I'm gonna have a higher volume of customers. I'm gonna have a higher volume of traffic, which means I'm gonna get better SEO. I'm gonna have a higher email open rate. I'm gonna be emailing more people and I'm gonna have a higher search volume. So all those much higher profit margin marketing channels that we have in our business are going to see a higher volume of opportunity. That's how you grow a business. That's how you legitimately make money. That's how you take struggling to maintain a 2x ROAS at $500 a day. You throw that entire business model out of the window and you focus on 2 or 3% growth month over month. So that by the end of the year, your business has grown substantially so that even your absolute worst day next year is twice as good as the absolute best day you had this year. Because that's the real problem that you want to have. Oh man, we had a terrible day and it was twice as good as anything that we had when we were still trying to run our business off of ROAS. Because remember, and I'll finish with this, ROAS is nonsense. It is a math equation built to help the sales pitch that existed for digital marketing 30 years ago, predicated on the concept that attribution is real, which it isn't. And ultimately, none of that helps you understand the cash flow and opportunity volume for your business so that you can plan a quarter or a year ahead. None of it. ROAS is an inactionable metric there to help with vanity. And as soon as you let that go and you start focusing on things that really matter, LTV, CPA, and COGs, now you can really start to focus on the other three sides of the business: budget, estimated action rate, and advertiser score. And ultimately, all you need to do is get better at one of those things. That's it. If you get better at either LTV, if you get better at CPA, if you get better at COGs, if you have a better advertiser score, or you get better estimated action rate, immediately you can spend more money. In an extremely high confidence, extremely stable, highly projectable fashion. So the only thing that really matters when running your business is focus on the actual offer that is something you can afford to invest in with your growth and acquisition dollars that might not be the most commonly selling thing when somebody comes to your store organically. And instead focus on the thing that's going to give you the best opportunity to grow your business, meeting your business objectives of profit margin or revenue volume or profit volume or customer growth. What is the thing keeping you at $500 a day in spend? Why isn't it $1,000? What is broken in your business that won't let you spend twice as much? If you focus on PSM and start to evaluate where all of your liabilities are, you will directly be able to improve the quality, volume, and ultimately potential of those legitimate high-quality assets in your business, taking advantage of more opportunity and ultimately scaling to the moon because you deserve it. So say it with me, kids. ROAS is nonsense. 2 more times. ROAS is nonsense. ROAS is nonsense. If you legitimately want to grow your business, it is 100% about profitable scaling margin. And if you disagree with that, my DMs are open, my comments are open, and you can feel free to email me on anything. And if your ad agency still says ROAS is important, believe me, I've got an army full of people that have gone through the Facebook Ads MBA program that are 100% set up to focus on your objectives instead of their bottom line, because your growth is good for them too. If you are working with partners who are not aligned with your business objectives, that focus on commission on ad spend and ROAS, running Facebook as though it were Google 10 years ago, you deserve better. If people are still focusing on click-through rate and CPC in Facebook, you deserve better. If people are still creative testing with ABO and interest groups, and they're still focusing on lookalike audiences and retargeting for some unknown reason, like, you deserve better. And if you want to be better, I've got a lot of opportunities for that too. Go to links.facebookdisruptor.com. Anyway, thank you so much. If you're still into this 30 minutes into the video, smash the like button, hit subscribe, share this with your friends. You deserve better. Let's go out there and print some money. Because the honest truth is, The math equation is super simple. LTV divided by the sum of the cost per acquisition and the cost of the goods sold. That's it. YouTube thinks you might like some of these videos, and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye.